Arthur, once a tyrannical king who ruled the world with an iron fist, slaughtering enemies and nuking cities all for power, suddenly feels overwhelmed with guilt. Just as he starts to reflect on his atrocities, he drops dead from a heart attack. But before he can descend into the abyss, a mysterious voice offers him a second chance at life, warning him not to mess it up this time. Arthur opens his eyes to find himself in a completely new world. He's been reborn as a baby. His new parents, Reynold and Alice, are over the moon, speaking excitedly about their newborn son. Arthur, still processing his situation, can barely wrap his head around the fact that he's back to square one, trapped in a tiny baby body. He's helpless, can't speak, and involuntarily soils his diaper every few hours. It's a far cry from the almighty king he once was. But things get even weirder when he watches his father, Reynold, channel some kind of mystical energy into his fists and smash a boulder to pieces. Arthur's jaw drops. He's been through countless battles as a king, but this power is something he's never seen before. It's a huge feat, and Reynold is proud of himself. But his show-off moment goes wrong when a rock falls on his head. Alice rushes in, healing him with some sort of magic, warning Reynold to be more careful next time. Arthur is stunned again. Magic. That's a whole new level of weird. As the days pass, Arthur realizes that this world is much more dangerous than he thought. People carry weapons as a matter of survival, and Arthur knows he's going to need to learn how to fight if he ever wants to live freely again. But life as a baby isn't all bad. Arthur discovers the joys of peaceful sleep, something he never got to enjoy in his past life, where constant assassination attempts kept him on edge. Now, he can sleep without worrying about anyone trying to kill him in his sleep. Small victories, right? Months go by, and Arthur's limbs grow strong enough for him to move around on his own. He's not thrilled about being a baby, but he's starting to figure things out. One day, Arthur escapes his crib when Alice isn't looking and sneaks across the house, making it all the way to the library. There, he starts reading books about the world he's been born into. He learns that the continent he's on, Dickon, is divided into 3 kingdoms: a dwarf kingdom in vast cave cities, an elven kingdom in deep forests, and the human kingdom, where he now lives. Arthur also learns that the technology in this world is limited due to the existence of magic. People manipulate mana within their bodies to enhance their strength, agility, and defense called augmentation, or they can project it out to control phenomena called conjuring. It's all very familiar to Arthur because, in his previous life, his power was similar to the concept of mana. He figures if he can focus hard enough, he might be able to develop this power for himself. Just as Arthur starts focusing his energy, trying to unlock his potential, Alice catches him. She's worried sick because he's not in his crib, but is relieved he didn't hurt himself. She doesn't seem to notice the magic forming inside him, but she does notice he pooped his diaper again, which is an ongoing issue. 2 years later, Alice is writing in her journal, thankful that Arthur is growing strong and healthy. But there's a problem. Arthur still hasn't smiled. She's starting to get concerned. Just then, she looks outside and sees Reynold giving Arthur sword lessons. Alice, of course, flips out. She's not about to let a 2-year-old swing a dangerous weapon around. Arthur, on the other hand, is learning that it's best to stay on Alice's good side to avoid getting into trouble. He's starting to understand that, while his life as a baby is limiting, he's much safer here than in his previous life as a tyrant. To take his mind off things, Alice decides to take Arthur into town for a little outing. Arthur's excited. It's his chance to gather more information about this strange world, how the weapons look, how magic works, and what kind of people live here. He even gets to see a mage casting fire magic in person. It's an exciting day, and Arthur absorbs everything he can. By the end of the day, though, Arthur is exhausted. His baby body just can't keep up with all the action, and Alice, seeing this, decides it's time for a nap. Arthur got the short end of the stick in life, dropped into the world like a player without a starter kit, forced to grow up in an orphanage, missing out on all the love a kid should get. So, being reborn into this new world with parents like Reynold and Alice is a nice change of pace. It's not perfect, but at least he's got a shot at real care this time. One evening, Arthur falls asleep on Alice's shoulder, and she carries him to his crib, talking about how proud she is of him. She's noticed how he sneaks out of bed to read books, how excited he gets when he sees the outside world, and she figures he must have inherited his adventurous spirit from Reynold. Alice wants Arthur to live peacefully, but she knows one day he'll probably want to explore the world on his own, and she'll support him no matter what. The next day, Arthur watches Reynold practice magic outside. Reynold shows off his ability to make rocks float, which seems impressive until Arthur realizes it's pretty basic. Reynold's strength lies in augmentation, using magic to enhance his own body, not conjuring like Arthur thought. Inspired by his father, Arthur tries to train, but just as he's about to climb down, Alice swoops in to tell him it's nap time. Arthur can't speak yet, so he starts whining. But Alice is firm, no reading today, just sleep. Little does she know, Arthur has mastered the art of pouting as a weapon. His baby cuteness wins again, and she lets him have his book. Alone, Arthur practices with his mana, which he's gotten pretty good at over the last couple of years. With just a little more focus, he figures he'll be able to cast his first spell. But things go way too well, and he accidentally blows up the house. Alice and Reynold, thankfully, were outside when it happened, but Reynold's back gets badly burned in the process. They rush inside to check on Arthur, who, to their surprise, is completely unharmed. Not only that, but Arthur is the source of the explosion. At barely 3 years old, this level of magic shouldn't be possible. Yet, here he is looking proud like a little wizard in training. Unfortunately, Arthur forgets that the house is crumbling around him. When 2 beams fall toward him, he tries to run, but his baby legs fail him. Just as he's about to be squashed, Reynold and Alice rush in to save him. This is the first time anyone has ever risked their life for Arthur, and the experience leaves him stunned. Seeing Alice crying out of relief, Arthur starts crying too. He's still not used to this whole being cared for thing. And that's how episode 1 ends. Stick around for the next part.